Hello everyone, this is Etan Sco from ramshouse.com bringing you guys another film review video. Today we're going to be checking out third round pick for the LA Rams, Bobby Evans. First, let me tell you guys a little bit about what we do at Rams House. We did a soft launch on the website last season and we wrote some stories, kind of tested some things out, kind of worked out some of the kinks. Now we're working through getting through a hard launch this off season into the season, where you provide daily links. We're going to be doing a ton of content like videos from the YouTube channel, stories, running a Twitter page, the whole 9 yards. And our slogan, our kind of motto for the site, our vision for the site is some friends, all Rams fans got together, decided we want to put together a Rams site for the fans, by the fans, so that we can put together the best content for you guys without having any biases and, you know, putting out some of the clickbait stuff that a lot of the other Rams sites put out in order to try to get you to come to their site. We just want to put out the most straightforward and real Rams content out there for you guys. So please check out ramshouse.com. Link will be in the description. And obviously drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more awesome content. And I did have some questions in the last video about whether we're going to be doing together a podcast. And yes, after we finish doing the film review on all the draft picks, we're going to be putting together a weekly podcast, and we are going to be doing some film review on current NFL players on the Rams. Like I think probably our first two are going to be Marcus Peters and Jared Goff. We're going to discuss them a bit and kind of try to clear up some of the confusion around what their season last year looked like. And shed some light on that. But guys, without further ado, let's talk about the new offensive tackle for the LA Rams, Bobby Evans. Bobby comes out of Oklahoma. Welcome to the Rams, sir. This is his stats in 2017, the All-American watch list. This is through week 10, so almost the entire season. You guys can see Bobby Evans at the very bottom there. He was the premier number 1 ranked right tackle in all of football. And you see the names around him. We have Mike McGlinchey, Quentin Nelson, Frank Ragnow, and Will Hernandez. All those guys were first-round picks in the NFL draft last year, and the last guy being Bobby Evans. So is there a potential that Bobby Evans is our future right tackle, or he's future right guard or left guard, and Joe Nopum plays left tackle? In 2018, Bobby Evans did play left tackle, and we're going to go over some of that. Let's go see real quick his PFF grade last year. 88.0 is where it was at. 8th amongst all tackles in college football as a right tackle. And then we switched to 2018, and here's the grades he had. He allowed 20 pressures. He had a 69.1 run blocking grade, a 78.2 pass blocking grade. And then the overview of the overall blocking, or the overall stat from PFF is 78.2 is their overall grade. Actually, that might be the run blocking grade at left tackle. But 12th tackle in the draft. So overall, pretty solid view of Bobby Evans. And so the question remains for us, this is one of the things I really like about it. They got a guy who's very versatile and who can play pretty much anywhere on the offensive line, and it gives them a lot of versatility going forward. We have a lot of options. I mean, we've got Brian Allen coming in at center. We have Joe Nopum coming at left guard. We know Whitworth is probably playing his last season. We have Havenstein signed long term. So Bobby Evans could be, your eventual left or right guard, because Austin Blythe has 1 year left on his rookie kind of guaranteed restricted free agent deal. Maybe Brian Allen doesn't work out and we want to give Blythe the contract. Blythe could play center. We have Bobby Evans could play left guard, right guard, or left tackle. Nopum is going to be starting a left guard, so maybe he sticks there. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility in offensive line, and I'm excited to see how it shapes up. But regardless of the obsession of having to have a guy that's like a stud at a particular spot, we got another really talented offensive lineman who's smart and is a quality player, and we're going to see that in the film. And it's going to help show us a little bit more about who Bobby Evans is, and why you as a Rams fan should be excited about having him on our team and looking forward to what he's going to bring in the future. And I would see him as a Joe Nopum was last year, where this year he's probably going to get some limited snaps at wherever he's needed to fill in. I mean, obviously we have a major injury on the offensive line. He'll probably play some, but he'll probably fill in at left tackle, left guard, right tackle. As we've heard so many times before, if you are one of these substitution offensive linemen, you're expected to be proficient at all 4 of the non-center positions, or if you're an inside lineman, you're expected to be proficient at both guard slots as well as center. So without further ado, let's get to the film and see a little bit about who Bobby Evans is. All right, guys, and the film we're going to be watching today is the Big 12 semifinals, one of the most important games of the year for Oklahoma, playing against West Virginia. This film gives us a really good look at Bobby Evans and who he is as a offensive lineman, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to check it out. Let's go ahead and get started. So he's left tackle, number 71, big boy over here. Swinging around, nice block, secured the gap for his guy. Wasn't a huge run, but he did his job. So he ran all the way around and then secured the gap on the inside, which is actually a pretty hard thing to do. Got him blocking down here. Pretty straightforward block there. I left as much into the footage as possible here so that we could take a look, to see what he does in mundane plays, to see what he does in high action plays, to get a really good idea of what Bobby Evans looks like during a game. So this is going to be almost every single snap he's involved in, and the majority of those things, so that we can get a good look at it. I didn't take out any good or bad plays that stood out. Some plays that really he was not really involved in, even though he was on the field. Blocking number 12, nice little push out. That's a solid little blocking. Watch him. He gets good initial position. Try to make the swing out, and then he ends up shoving him out and keeping that pocket clean for Kyler. Looks like he's going to be going off against 12 quite a bit and just winning the hand battle game there, keeping his man in front of him, keeping his leverage straight. Not a whole lot happening there. A little stunt inside, so he didn't even want to block. Gets a block on 12. That was kind of a bad block. He could play that a little bit better. He let him get the inside position. He was trying to hold him steady, and this guy took a really sharp route around, and it wasn't a play altering, but it wasn't a great block. That's a solid block right there. Let's rewind him real quick. 71 gets his dude, blocks him solid. He pushed him back quite a bit. Let's rewind one more time, because where that started at, where the initial contact is with these two guys is right in the middle of the bottom, the V for West Virginia here, and where he ends up is at the top of it. So it's kind of, he got some nice push on it, plenty of space for his guy to get out, which is Kyler. So solid block there. Certainly plenty of time led to the touchdown for Kyler, so not a bad block at all. So he's immediately tasked with going to the second level. He's giving off this block to one of the guys in the backfield. So picks up number 12. He goes in the backfield, and watch right here. The ball just is getting handed off, or they might be running a play option that's going to the quarterback. The quarterback might be keeping it, and he's already engaged in the second level with the linebacker, which is a pretty solid start to the play. And he gets his guy blocked, and his job is to keep that guy from coming around and being involved in that play. And to that extent, he's successful. He got into the second level pretty fast. Knows his job, got there quickly, got engaged, and kept that guy out of the job. Now, great blocking down there. Did another really good job of keeping 12 out of the mix there. That's kind of an interesting blocking scheme. He didn't actually get on anyone, but he did his job because the guard came over and got 12, and that appeared to be the blocking scheme they had set up. Looks like there's a bit of an audible going at the line of scrimmage. Let's see what's going to change. He goes past. He picks up this guy. Nothing crazy there. They have interesting blocking schemes at Oklahoma, a little bit different than you see on a lot of film around here. So he's going to skip around his guy, get the linebacker. So that's just the job of picking up the linebackers by the offensive lineman and solid scheme. I mean, they all got picked up, and he got some nice yardage here. I'm going to rewind that. I missed the beginning of this play. It's a quick one. Okay, there he is. Again, going up to the second level, gets the block on the linebacker. I mean, he, for all intents and purposes, he did his job. Nice two-pass. Okay, so that was a kind of interesting one. Let's walk to that one again. So he's going to give a bump to the inside man here. So he does a bump to the inside man, and then he goes on to the linebacker. And another guy picks up the guy from the outside. And the guy that he ends up peeling off of and going to linebacker ends up getting a tackle on this play. And the guard, 72, didn't do a good job of holding that block. But it was a good job by Evans, who did the initial help on the block, and then the switch to the linebacker. He held up his own, and he just... There was a guard there to help, but he didn't need it. He had that block held in place the whole time. It was a solid block. Swing around. So it's kind of a fake. I'm not sure what the purpose of the fake is if you're just going to be throwing it. They faked. He did a whole swing around action. Nice little block here, holding his man up. I mean, he's pretty sturdy. He's a pretty big dude. He's sturdy. He's got decent footwork. He holds his guys up. And West Virginia's a pretty talented team. I mean, they're 8-2 at this point in the season. They're obviously vying for a Big 12 championship. Pretty talented team overall. Man, they run some interesting blocking schemes. A little nervous when they let that guy go by and they had the other guy pick him up because he was shot out of a cannon. I mean, I guess they just trust in Kyler's ability to scramble around, but I wanted to see him stay engaged a little longer there. He kind of just shoved him out of the pocket area, and I kept him out, and it was a fast play, so maybe it was just because he knew the play was going to be a fast pass, but I'd prefer to see him stay engaged in case something go wrong. What if the first option was highly covered and he had to switch and he needed to continue to block so Kyler could look for more options? Again, that might be an issue where I just don't, get the scheme. Let's watch that again. Kyler fumbles in this play, but that was a solid block. So he's going to go again. He gets jammed up with this guy. He peels off and goes to the linebacker, which is a pretty solid play. So he gets a nice little push on 11 there and gets hooked up with this guy here and pancakes him. And Kyler was okay until he decided to give the ball to the other team. But we're not here talking about Kyler Murray. We're talking about Rams offensive lineman Bobby Evans. Again, blocking scheme. 45 is a lot of blocking in their system. They did the same thing last year with Dimitri Flowers. Dimitri Flowers, the fullback from Oklahoma last year, did a lot of blocking also. So it's not. I remember seeing that in the film last year, watching Dimitri Flowers do a lot of blocking. So this is not super unusual. He's over here. He's going to be that guy. Now, I do want to point this one out. This was an interesting one because they didn't go his direction, but look at the movement Evans creates. He's 71 right here, and he's going to get a push. Now, watch. I mean, the guy that he blocks, let me go slower here. The guy he blocks, I mean, look, he's getting this guy right here, and he ends up, I mean, if they had gone that direction, he takes his guy well into the end zone, creates plenty of space. This guy could have easily have cut back too if he wanted to. There's a guy right there, but yeah, so solid run. They get the TD, but that was I like the way it's kind of unusual to have that heavy push on that side in that manner on the side they're not going to. But either way, it's nice to see he can get that kind of leverage and that kind of push off on that scenario, on the goal line scenario. You got the same thing. He's doing a lot of that where he's just getting a little a little touch in, get a little jump into one guy, and then going into the second level. He's doing a lot. Same thing he just did to see if he continues to do that kind of thing. Oh, nice. Now they kind of credit him with this block. I mean, I guess you can call it a block if you want to. I mean, he was going to complete the block, and it was going to open up the hole regardless, but that guy kind of dove at his legs. The block was getting created by Bobby Evans one way or another. It didn't, watch the replay, it didn't end up that way. Like, he kind of got flipped. I mean, I guess you call it a block, but that wasn't his main job. And, it is what it is. But the hole was getting created, and touchdown was the result, so. Kind of a double team block there. Unless I missed it. I kind of lost track. I'll see. Oh, no, he stunts around. And he helps in the middle. They do a lot of movement on the offensive line, a lot of movement on passing downs, as well as running downs. Running down movement is fairly common. The amount of passing down movement they do is not common. Another solid block. I mean, you get the sense though he's just a really solid, smart. He's got decent footwork. He kind of reminds you a little bit. Now that was in the very. He was there. He was late on that one. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Joe Noteboom, but the difference between Joe Noteboom and him is that I think Joe Noteboom seemed a little bit more refined to me and more clean on his stuff. Now, keep in mind, Joe Noteboom wasn't facing quite the level of talent that Bobby Evans was facing, but he just seems very consistent and steady and quality. He's not like your flashy guy pancaking guys left and right or tossing dudes aside or kind of doing the flashy stuff. He seems very consistently quality blocker. He doesn't often get pushed, off balance. He doesn't often get pushed back. Some of the issues he has are small technicality issues, small things that he can work at technique-wise. I want to see exactly what happened on this play. So he's getting the push. So it was a backer came back, right? Yeah, it was a linebacker. There was a couple unblocked linebackers there, just ran through. He's stuck with not blocking anyone. They have really heavy blocking schemes sometimes in the passing game. Well, they'll be blocking with 7 dudes. Solid fake. He came around solidly, hit that. Even if that wasn't a fake, he had a solid wraparound block there. Coming around again. This time it matters. He blocked the one guy he needed to. Simple. A lot of quick action now from Oklahoma's offense. Gives us less of a chance to see what he's doing. But also important to see what he can do in these scenarios. That was a good recovery. He kind of messed up the original block, and then he recovered well. So it was like he was expecting to block somebody else, and there was no one else there. Maybe, I don't know. Not sure what happened in his head, but he ended up getting the space needed. Solid. So he seems to disengage too early sometimes. I wish he would have given Kyler a little bit more time to get on the outside before he disengaged that block. Maybe he's afraid of getting holding penalties. I'm not sure what the deal is, but he disengages pretty soon sometimes. That was a weird thing, too. Let's rewind that a little bit. He seemed to not be expecting to have to block that guy. Like, at first, he's looking in, and it wasn't until, all of a sudden his body is all facing in, and, that's a bad start. If that guy would have gotten a better jump off the line, that may have been a problem. Then he does recover well. I'm not sure what he was looking at, but that guy got awfully close to Kyler, and if he would have gotten a better jump off the line, or he was a much speedier pass rusher, he may have actually drilled Kyler there. So, kind of an odd play to have him facing inside and looking inside when his man was outside. Sorry, he makes up for it in this play by just being a stone wall. Him and the guard was just not a very good pass rush at all. It's hard to give him credit for that. There wasn't a whole lot of effort even. Coming around again. Nice block, but man, it's just a little bit late for me. I hope he is able to learn some technique to help him get around faster. Because that's the second time on an end around block like that I've seen him come around late and be there just a hair before the running back and not be able to make the block proper. That was a solid. Again, that's just one of those things. I know he knows the plays, and we don't necessarily know the plays in advance, but he just seems to disengage sometimes really quickly. Like, he just shoves him out of the backside. And I guess you're just assuming, what if 5 is really well covered and he's got to go somewhere else? I would like to see him be staying engaged in those blocks longer. Good job. Again, they're coming around the edge there. I guess they're just trying to really fool people with the amount of movement on the offensive line. because Kyler can pretty much run anytime he wants to. I lost him a second there. Oh, he was up in a second. Let's rewind that a little bit. Okay. So he's the one standing up here. Okay, so he gives a shove to this dude. He stays engaged with that guy the whole time. And then that guy almost gets tackled. Again, it's stay engaged longer. Keep the block going. That one, I got lost on that too. That was a quick snap here. Let's rewind. We're going to watch this. See, he just disengages too soon. And then the next play starts off real quick. And he's right here. Oh, he whiffed on that number 12. And that dude just absolutely smashes Kyler. That was a weird miss block. He's going to the secondary. I don't know if that wasn't his responsibility or what, but he did not seem to think, or he didn't seem spatially aware that that was the guy he was supposed to pick up. So he responds late. 12 gets right past him, and Kyler gets demolished. In the secondary again, nothing going. Pretty late in the game now. Early fourth quarter. Starting to slow down a little bit. See them starting to get more tired on both sides of the offensive and defensive line. Nice switch. I mean, you got to appreciate the fact that he was able to keep an arm on one guy and help block the second guy. That was solid. Let's rewind that just because I want to see the same thing I've been talking about. It's just like a weird, so he gets a little push on this guy, then he goes to that guy, and instead of like blocking, he just got beat bad there. And that guy could have made a play on Kyler. You know, that space would have been nice. That was a pretty bad miss block. The blocking schemes are odd to me. They're not like what we see in the pros. They're not like what we see with a lot of other offensive line schemes in the college level. Like now he's over here blocking, and that was a pretty straightforward play. But you guys see a ton of the movement. A lot of stunts where like the fullback or H-back or whatever he is, tight ends, comes around and blocks, and he moves to a different side or goes to the second level. That's a solid block. Hopefully this guy cuts back because he's got some room. There he goes. Nice cutback. Huge hit. That was a really nice block by Evans. 11 comes around and he does not. That was a solid, strong, sturdy block. Now, if I had to, so that was solid come around. If I had to, from my watching a lot of film on him this year and watching a lot of film on Noteboom last year, if I had to choose a guy that I was like, this guy is a much better prospect for a left tackle, I would definitely go with Noteboom. I liked Noteboom's tape a lot more than I did Evans at left tackle. Now, keep in mind, when Bobby Evans played right tackle, he was one of the top right tackles in the country. At left tackle, he was a top 10, 15 left tackle, but at right tackle, he was number one. So that speaks to his versatility and the fact that he has a lot of skills. This is his very first year starting at left tackle. So some of the stuff that he's having small issues with may be due to the fact that he's playing a new position. I mean, every offensive line position is different. So the point being is that, you know, if the future goal is for Bobby Evans to play left tackle, then he's going to need a lot more time. But if the future goal for Bobby Evans is for him to be a really versatile, talented offensive lineman, that could be sooner than later. You know, whether he's going to take over for Austin Blythe at right guard, or maybe we try him at left guard, or, you know, wherever he ends up being. Obviously, Havenstein's got the right tackle position pretty locked up. But from what I've seen so far, I would guess Noteboom will end up at left tackle after the season, and Evans will end up at one of the guard spots. I mean, certainly a talented guy. He's got good technique, good balance. He's got good. He's very smart. So he's got a lot of things going for him. I just personally liked the left tackle film of Joe Noteboom better than I did Bobby Evans. But Noteboom had a lot more time in left tackle, so there's a lot of factors to take into account. But you can see the talent that Bobby Evans brings to the table. Certainly a talented offensive lineman. Certainly a guy that we're happy to have in the third round, and as happy to have as a future with the Rams. I think he's going to be a future starter. I'm just not sure left tackle is a spot for that, especially having really liked Joe Nopum's film last year. So awesome new offensive lineman Bobby Evans. My particular hope, if we do not sign Austin Blythe, is that he ends up at right guard. I think he'd be a really strong guy starting next to Rob Havenstein. So and then we can go after a different left guard, but we'll see what the future holds. But guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys watching the film review. Now we're going to be coming out with the Greg Gaines video shortly. That one is really exciting because Greg Gaines is an absolute monster of destruction. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you guys think about the video and what you guys are going to see with future content. All right, guys. See you next time.